like some of that margin I could speculate with, which was I didn't have to charge everybody for staying there, running an accommodation business. I could choose based on the merit of the founder or the person with the idea to accept like equity in their company or help them get launched or get them capital and make a deal with them that wasn't charging them monthly, rent or something like that. So I did that, a few speculations, and those worked out pretty well.
Very savvy. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people just look at it as monetary transaction, dollar for dollar. You give me something, I give you money. It doesn't have to be that way. There can be equity. There can be social credit, just how relationships, networking, things like that. Those are, compounding over time, long-term investing thinking too. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I want to ask that too. Well, first, obligatory. How did you find Richard Heart? Richard Heart products, stuff like that.
2017, in the very beginning of 17, like around February or so, one of my previous tenants of the accelerator I was talking about was coming back to the area and asked me if I was still running it. And I had said no. The owner had decided to move back from Ohio and take the property back. So I had shut it down. And he had said, he's a Ukrainian guy that was visiting the area again. And he had said, well, I'm going to go to this blockchain event in Santa Monica. Do you want to go with me? And up until February of 17, I never had heard blockchain. I never had heard crypto. I didn't know about Bitcoin, even its origin story. I had, this sound money desire. I wanted something that was trustworthy. I knew about, inflation. I knew about debasing of currencies. I had put some of my belief into gold and silver, physical metals kinds of things in 2009 and 10. And, hoard that away like it was a pirate treasure in case the world goes to shit. Like I had that mentality. But in February 17 is the first time I had heard of anything crypto. And the way that he framed it was, this is like startups, but for digital assets, like digital things. Like it's venture capital. Like you can be a taxi driver and put $50 towards something, and you're now a VC. That was, and it made sense. So I went to that. I got curious about crypto in 17. I speculated a bit. That turned around $100,000 in 17, became in 2018 around $1 million in a particular crop product that was not related to crypto, to Richard or anything. And then very quickly after that, I needed to be better insulated tax-wise. I decided to go to Puerto Rico. And then in early 18, like many people know, the bubble popped as far as the blow off top of crypto. And that speculation crashed, in that previous thing crashed. And I was very burnt and pissed off and angry because I think it was worth around $3 million at the time, whenever it crashed down to in 2019, when Richard was starting to make content about HEX. I had learned about Richard from Rob Beatles, who is the founder of Monarch. And he's also like a Silicon Valley business startup guy, like a tech startup guy.
Oh, okay.
I was friends with him, and he had said that I should look at Richard Hart's content because I was kind of in that mindset. And I learned about Richard in 2019, in the beginning of 19.
28. Okay, nice. I think we had a pretty similar getting into crypto story as far as the timeline goes too. I got into Bitcoin or so, late 2016. Like $700 on Circle. Coinbase was just starting up. I mean, and eventually Circle, they literally sent an email, hey, we're not doing retail anymore. Please go to Coinbase. I'm like, oh God, I gotta register another thing. I like Circle, even though it's, hard to use sometimes, but it was working. It was a place where I could get it. And then 2017 found Richard. So way before crypto, the 8-hour live streams in the dark with long hair and the original throne, not with the Louis Vuitton airplanes and all that stuff. But it was so good to find him early too. I mean, just a little bit earlier than yourself, but
so you learned about him because of his Bitcoin position, like he was talking positively about Bitcoin specifically. That's when you learned about him.
A different angle. I learned about him at a party. A friend had mentioned, "Hey, have you ever heard of Richard Heart? You ever watched any of his streams?" He was a big Monero guy, and he said, "Have you ever heard of his streams?" I said, "No, who's Richard Heart?" I was like, "Oh, he keeps you better watch out about Ethereum. He's he's saying Ethereum's got this crazy attack surface. Blah, it just basically shit talking Ethereum." I'm like, really? Because I have a technical background, working in big tech, things like that. And at the time, even then, I could understand how the technology worked. Ethereum seems okay. I don't know. Let me go see if there's any merit to his argument. And I've watched maybe one or so live streams, and then I started going down to self-development. I was like, man, this guy is really good. Like he's just super smart and super interesting, and just attractive in all these different verticals. And it was the right timing for me. I just got into crypto. I kind of needed a mentor in that way. I needed someone to kind of like give me the background and history, and mine Bitcoin at 50 block world. I've watched every single Richard live stream ever that I could ever get my hands on. So I know all the stories too. And it was just a good timing for me. And I really got into that Scivive, and the rest is history. When he said he's launching HEX, I was like, or CFD token and the Bitcoin HEX, and then hex.win, and then hex.com. I was like, man, who's a better person to follow than this guy? He's I think I'm going to put, you got to bet on some horse, you got to bet on some horse. So why not this guy?
Right.